Hello everyone, hello friends of football. I still need to figure out this lighting situation. I'm not convinced, like I'm not satisfied with it. It does not light up my face in the best way possible. Anyway, we are back with football video. Well, thanks for the response on my last video. I appreciate all your Instagram DMs and comments, and I read them all. And I have to say, I have a list, okay? I've made a list of things that we are gonna react to. I ignore none of your comments, okay? Especially the one, the Argentina celebration. Oopsie. Why do I hit my ukulele? The Argentina celebration video I still wanna make because I think I have a lot of emotional things to say. We are gonna react to this video that I found on my recommended because it has a very catchy title, and I like catchy titles. So this is what we're doing now. It's by the creator Rabona TV. Probably said that wrong, but you know, that's what I do, say things wrong. He was supposed to rule the world. Did Neymar succeed? Fall short. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. I'm just gonna continue like this because it's funny. Or fail in Europe. What's my personal opinion? I don't know. I thought I have to jump on the bandwagon, talk about Neymar leaving PSG. I'm glad he left PSG. It's not a good place to be not a good place for him to be there at this point, because obviously he would have stayed if he wanted to. I'm still very interested to see what this video said. I'm very interested to see what this video says. But well, I'm just saying the Instagram reels have been very great. All the hype about it have been awesome. It's kind of the same thing as we had with Ronaldo recently, joining. Sorry, if you hear any noise in the background, there's actually a football match like near my house, and you can hear it like every time there's a football match. Sometimes I go down there, sometimes I don't. Let's go. Let's see what this video has in the tank for us. If at any point I lose my voice again, just laugh.
August 2nd, 2017, as Neymar's move to PSG was confirmed,
He's been there since 2017. Yeah, it was really time for him to leave, honestly. Why he should have not gone there in 2017. I act like I know what I'm saying, but why does it feel wrong now? It feels so wrong. Should have been at a different club all this time. Feels like I missed, like it feels like we missed something, you know? Something really big. You know what I'm saying? We have no nail polish on today. No football themed nail polish. Should have been green, yellow today. Sorry, I was a dermatologist and they don't tolerate nail polish on your nails.
Baker said this: "Oh Neymar, there is only one direction to go from Barcelona, and that's backwards."
Very right.
So, was he right? Of course, the context when those comments were made was that Neymar was at Barcelona, part of MSN, and thriving in a side that is part of the fabric of football history, only to ditch them for a club that had aspirations of being the top club in the world, but without having made it there yet. When you look at Neymar's career, perhaps you could say that he has been stuck on a similar track in some ways. At times so close to topping the podium, so close to knocking off the two greats ahead of him, but falling short and falling further away with every year that passed. Now that he's on his way to Saudi Arabia and his European adventure has come to an end, how do you eulogize Neymar's career in Europe? As we'll see, it's all a matter of perspective. Hey, I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV. Welcome back to all of the homies who have subscribed to the channel and have been around for some time now. And a welcome to anyone who is finding us for the first time. Hey, if you find yourself enjoying this video as we go through it, make sure you aren't just passing through, and subscribe for more content. All right, let's look at Neymar's career and how he may be remembered now that his career in Europe is coming to an end. But the biggest question, will he be allowed to gamble and play poker while in Saudi Arabia? I'm joking. We're not covering that, obviously. Okay, let's go.
I didn't understand this reference, so just so you know.
Already a lot of rumblings as to what was going on at Santos when it came to a band of youths that were demanding attention. Neymar and Gonzo were lighting up Brazil.
Look how cute he looks. This gives me such flashbacks and like such throwback vibes. I want to be young again. I am young, but like not that young.
And by the time Santos took on Flamengo in 2011, the hype train was screaming down the tracks. You know the game I'm talking about, right? Or if you don't, you certainly know the goal. Santos versus Flamengo, a 19-year-old Neymar versus a Ronaldinho that was 12 years his senior. The match ended 5-4, and this was indeed the match where Neymar scored that goal. That mazy slaloming run and the smart finish that won Neymar the Puskas Award and kicked Operation Neymar for plenty of clubs in Europe into high gear. 2 years later, The same year that he was transferred to Barcelona, Neymar was on the cover of Time magazine with this headline. No pressure, eh? To be compared to a bona fide legend of the game, a guy who was seen as a football god in his country and abroad, surely that could never cripple a budding star, right? Well, to be honest, it didn't really seem to, as Neymar's rise at Santos was steady and consistent, as he made a mockery of every defender he came up against before heading to Barcelona. At this time, everyone expected him to...
I don't know, like, people have been complaining about his attitude, and people have been praising his attitude. I guess there's a fine line in the middle. I'm not his personal psychologist or behavior counselor, but, you know, it's part of the game to behave a certain way, I guess. I mean, it's fun to watch, but what's best for him? I don't know.
Eventually surpassed both Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi as the best player in the world, even though both Messi and Ronaldo were right in the midst of perhaps the greatest personal duel of goal-scoring hijinks we've ever seen. 2012 was just insane, man. We were feasting on goals. Living off.
Yes, in 2012, I was alive, and I very well remember, like, I don't remember much of my youth anymore, but I definitely know that at that time, football was a big thing. In the classroom, outside the classroom, and in my house.
Anyway, if you're familiar with Neymar's story, then you'll know that he was absolutely seen as the successor to both Ronaldinho and R9, the next one in the line of kings, as they call them in Brazil. Just as Messi's legacy was so heavily tied to a World Cup as far as the greatest of all time conversation went, so too was Neymar's legacy. Winning a World Cup with Brazil was paramount to his career being seen as a success back home, but his achievements at the club level will have muddied the waters in that where does Neymar rank amongst Brazil's best players conversation as well. His debut season in Barcelona was by no means a failure. His numbers were great, and the promise he showed was delivered upon in later seasons. As part of MSN, Neymar did indeed look like he was well on his way to a potential Ballon d'Or. His output was great in that first season.
Sorry about everything about this picture is beautiful. The joy, the colors of the shirts, the sweat, everything. I appreciate it. Thanks for choosing it.
But with the arrival of Suarez in the 2014-15 season, like the rest of MSN, Neymar exploded. His 7 goals, minimum 1 goal per game in each leg from the quarterfinals to their final triumph over Juventus, is one of the best and most decisive runs of form that we've seen on the biggest stage in club football. What he achieved in the 2014-15 treble-winning season, he added further class and quality to in the 2015-16 season, almost maintaining his goal count while drastically improving himself as a creator and racking up 25 assists. We're beginning to see a far more well-rounded Neymar there. In his first season, we saw plenty of assists, par with his goals. In his second season, plenty of goals, far fewer assists. In his third, lots of goals, lots of assists. He was trending toward the levels expected of him, those future Ballon d'Or levels. In his final season with Barcelona, the 2016-17 season, he was once again fantastic. Once again with more goal contributions than appearances, with his 2 goals and 2 assists in the iconic 6-1 remontada over PSG being the highlight of that season. Then the news of PSG trying to pull off the unthinkable came to light, and while we got some great moments from Neymar, with the benefit of hindsight, it felt like the beginning of the end of his Ballon.
What in the Jesus Christ? 222,000 million, sorry, oh my god, I can't even think. Million euros transfer from Barcelona to pay PSG. Is that to be completed this week with the French club poised to pay his release clause? My god.
d'Or conquest. Again, I said, with the benefit of hindsight. Going to PSG was always a gamble, a high risk, high reward kind of career move. Go to PSG and play a starring role in helping them to win the Champions League after years of trying and failing. No doubt that sort of accomplishment would rocket him to the top of the list, but failing to do so, well, it would be difficult to convince the world that you were better than...
I need a PSG history lessons. I get so many cool history lessons in my comments. Somebody give me a PSG history lesson. I know some things. Also, my friends told me some things, but it's not that well-rounded. I'm not a well-rounded historicist at PSG club history. Controversial ones have the most interesting stuff behind them, so I don't know. It is what it is.
Ronaldo and Messi, and your decision would be scrutinized heavily. Why leave that good thing in Barcelona for this kind of questioning? One thing that has to be said about Neymar's time in Paris is that his first season with PSG, he isn't given enough credit for how incredible he was during the 2017-18 season. Of course, prior to his metatarsal fracture that season, which was the first of his lengthy metatarsal layoffs, but prior to the injury, getting back on track here, from 30 appearances across all competitions, Neymar had 28 goals and 16 assists. That's 44 goal contributions from just 30 appearances, or about 1.5 goal contributions per game. Just imagine if he had stayed healthy that season. His second season, once again, as you can see, he had more goal contributions than matches played. In fact, in all but 2 of his seasons in Paris, he had more goal contributions than he did matches played. There was a marked downturn in form from 2020 to 2022, but he picked it up again in what we now know was his final season with the Parisian club. But
it's quite a consistent pattern.
Fortunately for Neymar, his time in Paris, even with his great output, was marred, absolutely destroyed by injuries, and subsequently suspicions from the Paris faithful that their Brazilian starlet, the most expensive player of all time, wasn't doing all that he could to get back on the pitch, and once he's back, doing enough work to ensure he stays on it and avoids further time injured. Where did most of their frustration come from? Well, he is indeed the most expensive player in the world, still, to this day. But in total, while he was at PSG...
I don't understand the hate things. Like, I understand that football fans are passionate, but why do you have to make a... I don't get it. It's so unnecessary. Like, it's so, like, childish to me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe some of you did that. I don't want to hate on you, but it's not my favorite thing that people do. Just being honest, though. If people scream some shit and the players don't hear it, like, who cares? But, like, making the extra mile, going the extra mile, making the extra effort, a little bit weak, in my opinion.
In 54.7% of matches. Wow. In our recent video on Ousmane Dembele, we spoke of how in 2018, Gerard Piqué spoke of how Dembele needed to understand that football was a 24-hour job. In essence, you don't just show up to training and matches, you have to take care of yourself outside of those hours as well. Since Neymar has been with PSG, the timing of his injuries led to some silly conspiracy surrounding his sister's birthday. Well, it was certainly strange that he was always injured at that time. I think there's definitely a correlation between Neymar's fragility, re-injuring cycle, and his match load, or how many matches he has played in that season. But going beyond that and back to the 24/7 side of being a professional, some of the most hardcore of PSG supporters didn't appreciate seeing Neymar.
That's the conspiracy. There's a pattern in his injuries, and he cannot exceed his pattern. Now, what did I say? He cannot exceed... Word salad. You can believe it, but I don't believe it. The reason I don't believe is that he must have, like, faked the injuries, if anything. Nobody gets actually injured on purpose. If anything, he fakes them. And I don't think he does. But sure. Conspirarize what you want.
Streaming Call of Duty or Fortnite.
I'm sure he's not really hurt by it.
Or in a McDonald's in the middle of the night after playing poker online for hours during the season, or seeing him partying, or gaining a ton of weight in the summer holidays, or what have you. These are all things that were brought up as they didn't feel that he was doing all that he could to get back onto the pitch, or all that he could to stay on the pitch for as long as possible. I do have a hard time believing that at times, but who knows? Perhaps as time went on in Paris, he lost a bit of love for the game. And certainly with the protest...
I mean, that's surely a possibility, but at the end of the day, why would you hate him for it? Like, okay, you can criticize him for it, you can point it out, you can analyze it, but there's actually people that hate him for it, and I don't think that gets anyone anywhere.
That happened outside of his house. With the constant scrutiny, he will not have felt very welcome within his own club.
They go protesting outside his house. Why? Like, I don't understand. They're not even fans. Like, they're protesting outside of his house. Like, I understand how love can be very intense. Like, I would have rather understood that if fans did that and wanted an autograph. Love can be a great power, but that people have so much hate to go the extra mile, like literally. In my brain, it's just inexplicable. Like, I don't know, bro.
It's kind of sad that now Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar are all gone from Europe. I know Neymar never reached those levels of winning the Ballon d'Or, etc., but he was always flirting with it and is undoubtedly one of the most talented players of his generation. Speaking of which, looking back on his time in Europe comes down to a matter of perspective, really, when you'd want to try and give it a grade. If you look at it without any of the "he has to win the Ballon d'Or" noise and simply take his career for what it was in Europe, he was, past tense because he's left Europe. There's the pre-Saudi career and the post-Saudi career. But if you do as I said, take his career for what it was, without any expectations of being the best in the world, the trophies he accumulated and the goals, assists, and thrills that he provided through his unique style of play, then Neymar can be celebrated as just that. One of the best players of his generation and one of the smoothest players to come from Brazil. A player who managed...
I really like his analysis. I'm sorry, I really like this guy. So, like, diplomatic. Awesome.
To play with flair while simultaneously providing an end product as well. It wasn't all fun and flair with no effect on the match, as his output would point to. Now, the numbers I am using are from Transfermarkt, so you need to remember something with their numbers. When it comes to assists, they credit an assist to the player who won the penalty if the penalty is converted by somebody other than themselves. So I thought I would just mention that while going over these numbers here, in case you see any strange discrepancies from other sources. But in Paris, Neymar scored 118 goals and assisted 77 times in 173 appearances. That's 196 goal contributions in 173 appearances, right, which is ridiculous no matter which way you slice it. Combine that with his Barcelona numbers, then he has 223 goals and 153 assists in 359 appearances. 376 contributions is nothing to sneeze at, my friend. In fact, couple those numbers with the trophies he won in Europe, and he is unquestionably one of the best of his generation. If you look at the numbers for what they are, there is absolutely no way you can feel negatively about Neymar. But if you feel like with the talent he possessed, he had to do and win everything, win the World Cup, be the best player in the world, surpass Messi and Ronaldo, etc., rather than just being himself and have a ridiculous output of goals and assists while winning trophies, well, then I imagine you feel a bit hollow looking back on Neymar's time in Europe.
It's crazy. Like, it's really interesting, in my opinion. Like, I get that people wanted him to be all these things, and then you feel disappointed if they don't do this or that, and you see them partying and those news and this again, and he was supposed to be the next Pele or whatever. But at the end of the day, he was just being himself, and he was not bad. Like, it's not like he was a bad football player at all. And he did what he did, and he did what he could do, and his decision, and he earned a lot for that. I'm trying to imagine like being I'm a huge Neymar fan, to be honest. I'm a huge fan, but I don't understand how you could put so much of yourself and everything into one person that owes you not many things. Like, you decide to be the fan, and you decide to support them, and you decide what to think of them, so, or what to expect of them. So it is your responsibility to, if you are disappointed, then you have to deal with it. So that's you know what I mean? It's not like he promised you all of those things. So that's why I find it a little bit weird.
Like, it didn't measure up. I personally have had my time of sort of flittering between both sides. On the one hand, simply seeing Neymar on the pitch has been a privilege, given his ridiculous ability. On the other, I find myself frustrated with him at times because my own ideas get in the way, my own belief that
I think he always was shining when he was playing for Brazil. And that's actually my favorite time to watch him. Also in Barcelona, but still, when he plays for Brazil, it's kind of I feel like he feels the most connected to the game. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but yeah.
Should be striving for the absolute maximum in his career, but really, I can't say whether he has or not with any sort of certainty.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he has. It was his maximum, you know. People, there's the general maximum, and there's individual maxima, if you want to be grammatically correct, which none of it is, because who the fuck speaks English? We only speak it because because that's the language we can communicate in.
He can answer that question. Sure, I lean towards the side of him wasting some of his talent with how things played out with PSG and how this move to Saudi Arabia at just 31
I also waste my talent every day.
years old played out, but that's where this strange sort of parasocial relationship that football fans, pundits, etc. comes in, thinking they know what's best, how much effort a player is putting in, and thinking they have to max out everything to be the best of the best, etc. Everything else is a failure in their eyes. I think I'll leave you guys with this. I hope that you enjoyed watching Neymar in Europe while he was there, but if not, I can guarantee that he was a player that some people will look back upon and think, damn, I should have appreciated him a bit more while he was around and in form, because there aren't many like him that provided both the Brazilian joy and flair with his efficiency. Thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate you sticking around here at Rabona TV. If you enjoyed this one, then consider dropping a like.
Thank you for this video. This was really nice video to watch. Quite informative, like a good level of insightful, I would say. Did Neymar succeed, fall short of fail in Europe? I don't think any of that. He definitely succeeded in some levels, and I really appreciate Neymar. Like all of my life, actually, all my friends have always been Neymar fans, and probably for a reason. There was a lot more to Neymar than just him being a brilliant football player, but there was a lot more to enjoy his personality, what he did outside of playing football. He did a lot of with his fans, and you know, this work is not just worthless. I know this a lot. People just appreciate the numbers and the trophies and what in the history books will be said, but there's a lot going on surrounding. He had qualities in different aspects as well, and that's also something to appreciate. I'm very excited to see him in the Saudi League. Interested what he's going to do there. Maybe he's going to leave. He's a 2-year contract, right? I don't know. Maybe he should have just done one, but maybe they didn't want to do one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below what you think of it. No hate though. I don't like that. And peace. Have a nice weekend. I'm gonna go to Monza actually this weekend. So to watch the GP. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. New content next week, hopefully. Kisses, bye.